Welcome everybody to Point of Jew. I'm Jeremy, and in this week's episode, I interviewed a Twitch streamer, gamer, content creator, Ashley Carter, and just got to learn a lot about gaming because, I mean, I'm old school. I grew up on the original Nintendo and all the way up now through PS4, but I know most people laughing at me just playing my sports games, my MLB The Show, and like the new Avengers game that came out, and that's not necessarily any kind of hardcore gaming, but most people with PC gaming, do you guys look down at the console gamers? I don't know. But anyway, Ashley did a great job explaining to me about kind of her evolution into gaming, you know, still working through going from, you know, playing on a PC, you know, with a controller, but adapting into, I guess, more adult gaming, you know, utilizing actual keys and stuff to play the games and the variety of games she plays, what the Twitch community has kind of meant to her interacting with her followers and how that's been going and just kind of branding herself, you know, like I do. I mean, I'm trying to brand myself, you know, on Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and there's definitely a lot of parallels there, but it was really interesting. So if you are, you know, super into gaming or, you know, just kind of like in my boat where you're just trying to learn more and see like, why are people watching people play video games? You know, like it's kind of the same thing as like people watching sports or watching somebody else do something that you can't necessarily do, or, you know, just the interactions to be able to talk to somebody like that and, you know, join in her games and be able to play with her and interact with her and just make new connections. We're definitely in a time where we're all kind of locked at home, or some more than others, or, you know, whatever your comfort level is. But it's more of a virtual world right now. So being able to connect with people in that space is certainly something that is growing, is escalating. So it was a very interesting, kind of eye-opening look for me. So hopefully you guys enjoy this episode as much as I had making it. I learned a ton from Ashley. She's super entertaining. You know, she says she's very extrovert, a little bit introvert, but tons of personality. You can see why she's, you know, very charismatic and why people, you know, might want to follow her stream or interact with her more. So without further ado, Point of Jew. All right, I want to welcome Ashley Carter, streamer on Twitch, gamer, content creator. Ashley, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. I've been in the car for a little bit today. I was at a wedding at Virginia Beach, so got back a little late today. And I know you've had a hectic day too, so thank you for doing this with me.
Of course, happy to do it.
And, you know, kind of getting into that. So over the past few years, you know, Twitch blowing up, a lot of people streaming content on there. I've seen it. I've looked at what you do. A couple of our friends do it as well. How did you get into that, and how did you decide, all right, I'm going to be a content creator on Twitch. I'm going to be playing games on there for the masses to see?
Yeah, so it was actually really interesting. I have known several people that stream on Twitch, and some that have a bigger following than others, but all have their own little place. And the girl that used to do my hair for a few years, she was doing my hair one day. We were talking about Animal Crossing specifically, and she streams, and we were just having a conversation, and she said, you know, based on your personality and the things that you're interested in, you should really give it a go. And I love video games and everything, but I never considered it. I'm not necessarily camera shy or anything like that, and I'm kind of extroverted. So I decided a few months later that I was just gonna buy a gaming PC, give it a go. And I had a lot of support from my friends. And I did like a small like Animal Crossing giveaway too, so that helped grow a little bit. And pretty much that was it. And now I play a bunch of other games, but it started off with just talking about Animal Crossing, and that's one of the first things that I streamed too.
That's awesome. And I was taking a look at some of the things that you're doing now. I know Among Us has been, I guess, one of the bigger titles over the past few weeks into a couple months. How is playing that for you? Because that game, I think, actually came out like a couple years ago, but is now finding popularity in the US, right?
Right. And when someone mentioned it to me, I had seen a bunch of people on Facebook saying, I'm playing Among Us, here's my code. And it was almost all my friends were playing it, and someone had suggested it to me. I've streamed it. That's what I've been streaming lately, and I'm getting new followers and a lot of people that enjoy watching people play. So sometimes I'll play solo, and sometimes I'll get on Discord with about 9 other friends, because you can have 10 total in a party and we'll all be on there. And it's tricky because you can be the imposter and you're literally having to just lie and pretend you're doing things and you're not actually doing anything. It's a lot of fun to play with friends. Honestly, can be even more fun sometimes to play with strangers. I feel like you can be a better liar that way, but
Familiar.
it's extremely sneaky. It's a lot of fun. The last 2 times that I've streamed it, though, I didn't get to be the imposter a single time. And I was so frustrated because I like to just get behind people, see that no one's watching, and just kill. And that's the most exciting part of the whole game. And that's probably what I'm streaming tonight as well. And yeah, when I downloaded it on Steam, I noticed that it's not a new game, but all of a sudden it blew up, and it's just this game that's $4.99 that all of a sudden everyone's gotten, and it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I've also, probably my longest streams have been since playing Among Us. I've streamed for 2 hours, and I've never done that before, but it's addicting.
Oh
So
wow, that's a healthy stream count there. And I know we've mentioned a little bit about the game. I'm not gonna by any stretch pretend. I mean, I've seen it played and I've seen like memes and stuff from it. I would do an absolutely terrible job describing it. For the people watching and listening, can you kind of describe the point of the game, like what goes on, and kind of flesh that out?
yeah, absolutely. So in the game, you have an option. You can host your own party or you can join with strangers. And it's honestly kind of tough when you join with strangers. You never know if they're all on a Discord and you're the only one that's left out, because you can get targeted really easily. But you essentially just get in your group and the game starts, and you immediately know if you're either a crewmate or if you're the imposter. You can choose how many imposters per game that there are. I think you can have up to maybe up to 3 or 4. I don't know for certain. I've only ever played with 1 or 2. And all the crewmates go around and you have a set of tasks. And the crewmates can only win for 1 if they figure out who the imposter or imposters are, or if they complete all the tasks before the imposters have killed everyone. If you're the imposter, you don't have any tasks. All you have to do is go around the map and try to get away with running up on someone, being close enough, and you kill, and you try to run away, and you try to get to everybody. You can also do things called sabotages, where you do things in the map that, let's see, I haven't actually ever used the sabotage because I just like to do the killing. It's my thing. But you can sabotage like the oxygen tanks and things like that, if I have that right, and everyone has to rush to go fix it. And yeah, so depending on whether you're on a Discord or if you're not on a Discord and you're just in a game, at the end of every match, someone will discuss. So let's say I'm a crewmate, I run up on a dead body, you report it, and then it turns into like a team meeting. Everyone's discussing, oh, I saw yellow, because there's like 10 different colors. You pretty much identify people by their color. You'll say, oh, I saw yellow near the body, and then people get suspicious of yellow, and you discuss what you saw, where the dead body was, and essentially it's just people arguing and accusing each other and lying, which is really fun. Yes. And on Discord, it's even more fun because, in my opinion, that part's really fun because you have people that are like audibly offended when you accuse them when they're not actually the imposter. One of the most fun parts, though, is that when you die, you get to ghost around for the entire game and watch everybody else until the game's over. But yeah, that's essentially it. You get to be the crewmate or the imposter, and kill everyone or save everyone is essentially the premise of the game.
I gotcha. Well, I mean, it sounds fun. I may give it a try at some point. I like the cute little astronaut looking dudes that you play as.
They're precious, yes. And you have a series of different hats you can put on them. You can put like a pumpkin on your head or cat ears or different like masks. It's precious. The game is actually like aesthetically like really cute.
Oh, Is there, has it been one of your more favorite games that you've played recently? Because it's obviously, a different vibe than, Animal Crossing, which is kind of what got you into the world.
Yeah, it's what I've played for probably a little over a week, and it's definitely the only game of its kind that I've streamed because um something I'm probably going to start doing more as a streamer is keep an eye on new games, although Among Us isn't a new game, but it would be newer trending games I'm going to
Right.
try my best to keep up with. Um, I started with Animal Crossing. I've played other games, but this is the only one that's honestly, it's one of the only games that I've played that's not single player. I've not played very many multiplayer games because I do like to interact with my stream. I often have like a lot of my friends that will chat and viewers that will want to chat. And it's hard when you're on the Discord talking to other people to interact. So I do a lot of single player because I love to talk and I love to talk to people and entertain. So yeah, but I've loved it. And I'm probably going to ride the Among Us wave for a little bit longer. And just use this because I've gotten I just surpassed like 200 followers, which was my goal for the end of September.
Nice.
Thank you. And so Among Us got me there. I got my 200th follower a few minutes into my stream on the 30th, which was like the last day of the month. And then that person saw my code on Among Us and joined and played with me for a while, which was like really cool. They found me on Twitch and then played Among Us with me. It was awesome.
That's really cool. I mean, you don't think about that, but you get that direct interaction more so than other things with your followers and your subscribers. Has it mostly been positive, interactions? And I'm not trying to say anything like negative or anything, but like, a lot of times people see female gamers and they get their knickers in a twist, so to speak. If I can use old timey slang, but do you see or get any of that negativity, or has it mostly been a lot of positivity and encouragement?
Honestly, I have never gotten any rude messages on my Twitch to date ever. And I'm really pleased because I I started trying to make some TikTok videos for the most part just to promote my Twitch. Anything I'm doing on any other social media really focuses in on Twitch. And I've gotten TikTok is a very scary, hateful place to be. As far as like the social media platforms, I've gotten some negative messages on there, but on Twitch, it's been completely positive. The only messages I've ever had to have deleted were ones where they were bots and they were saying, you can buy followers, go to this link. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy followers. So no, everything's been incredibly positive. And my favorite part of Twitch, I love that I have friends that have come to every single stream I've had since the very beginning. I can count on one hand, but like, how many friends do you have that will every like 3 days a week sit down and watch you the entire time? That's been really awesome. But what's my favorite part aside from that is when people find me on the browsing page and they like me enough that they want to follow me and interact, and they're like brand new friends. And that's for someone like me that, I mean, I'm extroverted in a sense, but I feel like I'm also introverted. So it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like validating to be like, oh, people that didn't know me before actually want to see my content. And it's helped my mental health, honestly, a lot to kind of grow the community on Twitch. So far, so good. I don't have high hopes that I'll never get those comments because I think everyone gets them at some point, but so far it's been pretty good.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that they've kind of been warm and welcoming and that you've made a lot of good connections. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, keep up the positivity. Don't be the first negative asshole.
Please.
Fingers crossed that you don't ever get it. So
I hope.
that's awesome. Is there any particular genre of game? I know you said you like to play single player games a lot. Was there particular genres within that, or that you gravitate to more than others, or you're just trying to mix bag everything and try out everything, or is there something specific that you do like a lot that you find yourself playing?
Honestly, I don't think I've played anything that was similar to something else. The first thing I think I ever, what was it? I think Animal Crossing was probably the first thing I ever streamed. Um, I think I've started playing Darkest Dungeon, which is just a dungeon crawler, turn-based type game. And then someone recommended off of that a game called Slay the Spire. And I've only played that a couple of times, but that one is also turn-based, very similar. But I like very like wholesome, cute games like Animal Crossing. And I've never streamed um, Stardew Valley, but I got into that a little bit as well. Um, I have dabbled a little bit with Rainbow Six Siege, but I'm not good. I would like to get there. I think that I like first person shooters, like when I'm playing with like a friend. I love stuff like that, but I don't think I'm good enough that anyone would enjoy watching at this point. But I'm trying to really get myself comfortable with a wide range and eventually have followers maybe vote on what games they want to see me play and make recommendations. I will say that last night I attempted to play Outlast and it was just not good. I love horror movies and I love anything that's like scary themed. I really enjoy it. But I was over half an hour into my stream and I had barely entered the building, and I was too scared to open doors and too scared to, I'd hear any noises in the background and freak out. And so I had chest pain, I was scared, and I had to log out and switch over to Among Us. So scary games probably aren't it for me, but I'm trying to get comfortable with everything else.
I can completely understand it. I am not a scary anything fan. I don't like to be like creeped out and scared, and so that's out of my wheelhouse completely. So
Yeah.
I totally understand that. Is there games coming out? I mean, I know you said, and I think that that's a good idea to have your subscribers and followers kind of vote on what you might play. But is there anything upcoming that has piqued your interest? Like, ooh, I can't wait for this to come out to maybe try and see how that goes.
Um, Something that did come out that I did get that I haven't streamed quite yet is the Super Mario All Stars. That's got Super Mario 64 was the first video game I ever played as a child. I have still not played the game since it came out, but I think that might be something I try to stream. I don't know if that's something that people are interested in watching. Because right now I have my PC and I have my Switch, and those are the two things that I use. Um, but something that I'm trying to be better about is kind of figuring out new releases and what's up and coming because I'm not too great with that yet. So I know the Super Mario All Stars game just came out and I would like to stream that soon and give that a go. I think it could be fun, but I do need to be better about seeing other new releases and anticipate them and try to play more multiplayer as well. So like followers can join and it can be interactive.
I think that sounds like it'd be pretty good. Yeah, I've never gamed on a PC before. I've always been straight up console. My first console, and I'm gonna feel old saying this, the original Nintendo. So original Super Mario is the
Yeah.
first game that and like Duck Hunt were like the first things I ever played.
Right. Yeah.
That dog haunts your nightmares if you've ever played Duck Hunt.
I've never.
Yeah, if you miss the duck that you are hunting, there's a dog that pops up out of like the grassy knoll and just kind of like points and laughs at you.
Oh, I don't think I'd enjoy that. That sounds awful.
It's not the best, no. But yeah, I play PS5. I wish I was playing PS5. I play PS. Playing my PS4 right now in anticipation of PS5. Um, I've always done like sports games and like superhero games, like the new Avengers game that just came out. I've barely picked up because time has not been kind to necessitating video game hours. But
Right.
yeah, is there, growing up on consoles, is there a dramatic switch to playing on the PC, or it's easy to pick up? It doesn't make much of a difference to you.
I will say that there are games that I think Rainbow Six Siege was the hardest first-person shooter when you're using a mouse and a keyboard where I'm used to. I've got a controller I can use, and I have used that instead of opting for the keyboard and mouse situation. It was a big difference, and I even honestly the Switch was even kind of a little bit of a leap. And I mean it's similar because I still have my 3DS. But even that was a little bit different to use because it's such a really wide and long console. And but I've never owned an Xbox or a PlayStation. I've played other people's, but I've never owned one myself. I had Nintendo 64, GameCube. Actually, I owned a PlayStation 2. I still have it actually, and I played Sims and stuff on it. But I did have that. And then, yeah, so all the, like, I had my Game Boy Advance and DS and the SP 3DS. Everything has been pretty much Nintendo. I've been a simp for Nintendo since forever, and going to the PC is difficult. I'm still probably going to reach for the controller when I can, but people are trying to push me away from that just to get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But it's just weird because, you know, any games I've ever played on the PC, I've used the arrows, and now people are like, you use WASD to, and I just don't, all of it's weird, but I'm hoping I will get better in time because I get made fun of sometimes when I opt in for the controller just because it's familiar. Yeah.
Well, yeah, sometimes you got to do what's comfortable, but at least, you're putting yourself out there and trying. I don't think I could get used to that. My evolution of gaming was original Nintendo and original Game Boy, Sega Genesis, N64, PS2, I think was the first PlayStation, then PS3. I think I had an Xbox 360 at like one point for a couple months, and then hated like the oversized like controller, like it was the least comfortable thing in the world. And then went back to PlayStation, then got the PS4, and I've seen a lot of my friends play on the computer. Like my best friend back in college played a game called Day of Defeat. I don't know if that's still even remotely popular. It's another first-person shooting type Call of Duty-esque game. If I've botched that description to the DoD community, I'm not sorry. That's the best I got out of it. So like I would watch him play stuff like that, and I'm like, I can't do this, and everybody's like screaming over their headsets and stuff, and I just did not appeal to me.
Right. Yeah, I will say that the only PC gaming I ever did, I used to play Neopets, and I used to play Toontown, and that was all keyboard and mouse, but it was pretty much just using either strictly the mouse to play or just using the directional arrows to play. It's a lot different, but so it's like mildly familiar, but now I'm playing real adult games and I have to grow up a little bit, but it's all good.
I admire your ability to adapt and kind of weaning off the controller, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about interacting with your followers, your subscribers. Obviously Twitch, you're pretty interactive on Twitter, and you were on Instagram, right, a little bit, and then you kind of had that not so good lately.
Yeah. So I use Snapchat and Instagram primarily to promote, like whenever I stream, I try to post about like an hour ahead of time on both of those platforms. It's really unfortunate that my Instagram is still down about 4 days later after the little message says that we'll review it and you should be back in 24 hours. It's been well over that, but I have about like 1,100 followers on Instagram, so it was really important to me to use it. And there's no way to actually contact Instagram.
No.
There's no email or anything. So I'm just like crying on the inside and hoping that they hear me and that they'll fix it. But one other thing I do is I do have a Facebook page for my Twitch as well. So I do my sincerest apologies. I do have, dog's gonna bark to you, I bet. But yeah, he did. I try to post on there as well, and I do have friends that will like share my Twitch pages, Facebook posts, and get their friends to come watch. So I think it was pretty good that my username was available on all of these platforms and that no one had taken them. So that's been pretty good. But yeah, try to use those to pull people in, and you can promote posts on Facebook. I've done that a couple times, and sometimes a Facebook post will on my page, even though I only have maybe a little over 100 likes, like 150, they'll still reach like over 300 people somehow. So that's been really cool to use to be able to bring people to my page and just, you know, see if I have content that they'd be interested in.
That's really cool. And you've kept it branded across. It's Lil Bradley, right?
Yes, everywhere.
Everywhere. And I will link to everything, you know, in the video and on Podbean and everything else that I broadcast in. That way, anybody who wants to check out your stuff has kind of easy access to that. And obviously, since it's all very easily branded and you've done a great job with that, they'll be able to find and hopefully, you know, join in, either, you know, watch your streams or play with you as well. You know, outside of all that as well, where kind of ultimately would you like to go? You're just trying to grow the follower base, or what's been kind of the most important things to you in terms of your stream right now?
Honestly, the most important thing to me, I do get emails after every Twitch stream that will be like my summary, and it will tell me about like engagement and how many followers per stream and your average viewer. The most important thing to me is definitely engagement and forming a community that's positive and welcoming and inclusive, because I love making those connections with new people. And I have this huge base of like my friends that are so eager to support and like come on my page and always come in and say hi. Or I have so many friends that will say like, hey, I can't stay, but like I'll put you on in the background, and just like to bump up my viewers and things like that. But the most important thing to me is for that good positive engagement, and that people can come onto my page and just for me, it's therapeutic to come on and feel like I'm kind of away from everything else. And I want other people to feel that way too. Of course, you know, followers are great. I think I maybe only have like 9 or 10 subscribers so far because I'm a Twitch affiliate. So it's like I make a few pennies off of ads and like a few dollars off of subscribers. And like, that's all fine and good. I would love to definitely get to a point where it serves as something I'm doing part-time. I would love to get there. Even more so to do it full-time, but I know that that takes a lot of work and effort, and currently pretty much working full-time, so it can be difficult to balance them both. But right now I'm just trying to you know, use all my platforms to bring people in, and just I always try to say during my streams when I see that, like, sometimes I'll see my viewer count goes up by a few, but no one's joined the chat. So I'll mention, oh, I think I have a few new viewers. And I introduce myself multiple times during my stream and just say, like, my name's Ashley. Definitely feel free and comfortable to come to the chat, say hi. And I ask how people's day is going. And that's the best part for me, honestly.
Well, I think that's good. I mean, it sounds like you are building a really positive space and, you know, helping people feel comfortable. I know, you know, this past year in particular has been a little bit nuts. And I know you mentioned, you know, streaming's been good for your mental health as well. It just inevitably always happens on this podcast. I'm not quite sure why. It's a good space for it. And I mean, I like it too. You know, we talk a little bit about mental health too, and just the types of things that creators do that kind of helps them out. Has streaming always been something that's been on your mind in terms of, well, since you've been doing it anyway, for your mental health, or have you kind of been a little bit more, you know, pressed with like quarantine and COVID and everything? Or, you know, what's kind of your story been for the past year?
Well, I started back in February, and I February was like the very beginning. Like we all thought, oh, things will be like shut down for a week and we're all good. That's when things were hopeful. And that was when Animal Crossing was about a month away from releasing. So I pre-ordered an extra copy, and I'm like, towards getting closer to when the game was, releasing, is when people are beginning to lose their jobs and things becoming a struggle for a lot of people. Um, and it made me even more happy because there were so many people that I was on Animal Crossing groups that were like, does anyone, still need a pre-order or anything like that? Because like I can't afford it anymore. And I did also in those groups donate to a few people. That was like $10 here, $5 here, to people that would post and say like, send memes, like I like lost my job, I'll be on Animal Crossing as soon as I can be. I won't get to play with everyone right when it comes out, but it made me really happy to do that giveaway, and I got a lot of positive like feedback from doing that, because I wanted other people to have an opportunity to play. And I was fortunate enough where I was working for a while, and then in April I was furloughed for a couple of months. And so I did have to file for unemployment during that time. During that time, I didn't stream during the entire time that I was furloughed, but I did. I was in my last semester of my senior year of college as well.
Oh, wow.
So it was I was taking one class where I had to write a 35-page paper. It was a 50-page paper, but I emailed my professor and I said, well, libraries are closed, so that is negating a good fraction of the resources that are available to me, because not everything's on the internet, and they especially, some dated resources. So I talked him down to 35. I got rid of a whole 15 pages.
You got good negotiation skills.
I did. I was incredibly impressed that he came back and said 35 is fine. I'm like, okay, that's hours of time that I don't have to worry about. But I did dedicate those 2 months that I was not working to I was taking 18 credit hours. So I was taking a lot of classes, and I got A's on all of those classes. Besides, I got a B on this 35-page paper, which I tried to argue with him about that too, but it didn't work out. But it's okay.
One too often.
Yeah. So I essentially I went back to work at the beginning of July, and that's when I started to get back into the streaming again, or work my way back into it. And the last little bit, I don't think I could have managed streaming and doing those classes at the same time. I don't think that at the time, if I needed a mental health break, it was taking a nap, because streaming a lot of the time does take energy. And something that I struggle with a lot is like fatigue. And it's like, if I'm dealing with something mentally, like taking a nap and hoping my problems go away while I'm napping is something I rely on a lot. Doesn't work out usually, but yeah. So these last couple months that I've been back up and running, and my Twitch has been active again, have been really, really helpful for me. And I feel like it gives me a lot of purpose, because since I've been out of school in May, and it was my bachelor's, I drug it out. I've been graduated from high school since 2013, so I took my time getting my degree. But it kind of felt like a weird lost feeling, because you graduate in the middle of a global pandemic and there's no jobs, especially at that time, and still now. I've been applying. So doing that this last couple months has been encouraging, and again, does like give me a lot of purpose. And it feels good because I do have people that like ask, when are you streaming next? Like, I can't wait to watch. And it's done a lot. And I think that it's been a good thing for me. And I hope that I don't think that things with this pandemic are getting better very quickly, but I hope that it does. I'm really hoping that once I actually do get a full-time job, like in the field that I want, that I can still balance my Twitch, because It's been really great for me, and I've been a lot happier. Thankfully, I've been fortunate to have gotten my job back and been working again and being able to support myself and everything. But I know a lot of people are still doing virtual learning that wait to watch my stuff. So it's nice.
That's good. You know, you've obviously gone through a lot. It's awesome that, you know, you went back and, you know, you got your degree, and, you know, finishing up in the midst of a pandemic is obviously an extremely arduous thing. But that's a good story. You know, you finished up, you did all that. And I'm sure as you get a job in your field, you'll still make time, you know, for your stream, because obviously it brings you a lot of joy. It brings a lot of other people joy. And I think sounds like you would miss that connectivity if you know, you stopped. So
Yes, absolutely.
we make time for the things. Like, one of the main reasons I do this podcast is I like to hear people's stories, and I like to talk to other content creators. So, you know, hearing something like that is, you know, a great story to hear, you know, for myself and for anybody else listening. So that's really awesome that you've been able to do that.
Yeah, it's been really great. Something that's good about the job I have right now is that my management, they know that I do this streaming thing, and they have set me up to be successful with it, and they've been very supportive. And well, we close at the latest at 6 o'clock every day right now, so I always have time to get on, you know, 9 p.m. Eastern, but our hours are extending again, and they've told me that we'll make sure that on the days that you are dedicating, that we'll get you, you know, off work, give yourself time to get home, to eat, you know, take care of yourself. And that's like another good part of it all too, is that I have a lot of support like in my work life, and a lot of my coworkers come and watch me too. So it's all really good. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you're very well supported by them. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's cool to see, because not that a lot of people didn't, but, you know, for me, like growing up, you know, it's kind of been able to see the evolution of gaming, and now you can watch people play. Like ESPN shows people gaming occasionally.
Yeah.
For you, I mean, obviously Twitch is a tremendous outlet. It's afforded a lot of similar people the opportunities to create content and to, you know, build their following and show their personality and interact with others. Is just streaming over Twitch kind of where you see gaming going? Or do you think, I mean, it's already kind of there, so I feel like my question's a little loaded, but do you feel gaming is going to continue just this upward trend of social integration, and we will see more like live streams and stuff covered in the same way that you might see like a sporting event or something, you know, of that nature?
Absolutely. Something that I think is really interesting, and I've questioned that, because you know, there's social media that you think of that it was like, oh, MySpace had its time. That's not a thing. A lot of people kind of look at Facebook that way too, and not for me personally. I still use Facebook pretty frequently, but I think we're finding, especially this year, that doing things virtually can be extremely successful. And I think that I think it's also encouraging a lot of people to want to stay home. So I think that Twitch has gotten like a lot of action here lately, and I wish that I'd had more of an opportunity to stream while in the midst of everything, but you know, I had to graduate or something like that, so I had to do that. But I really do think that I think it's going to continue to be on an upward trend. You know, having worked with, you know, Best Buy for just over 6 years now, it's been over 6 years. Crazy to think about.
I met you there.
And I know that, so we've known each other for over 6 years, which is crazy.
Time goes by too fast.
It really does. And, you know, I'm back, you know, at that same store too now, is where I'm at currently. And, there have been moments where I was thinking, oh, like, this is the peak, but honestly, this year has been really eye-opening, and I really think it's going to continue to gain even more traction and like the interest of more people, and younger generations are growing up on newer technology than we grew up on. you know, kids now that are 6, 7 years old are, you know, talking shit on Fortnite to other people and going around and are insane. And these kids have insane skills and that's what they want to do. And I've talked to plenty of kids that want to stream and like want to do that for a career. So I think that a lot of things are just the beginning. I think it's going to keep on going and growing.
The first, to your point, so I'm not going to say, not because I don't want to throw their ages out there, but because like I can't think of what their ages are right now, which is embarrassing. But my oldest nephew just started high school, and he's, been on Discord and on Twitch, and he's been in like Fortnite tournaments and stuff, as a young teenager, and his brother's a couple years younger than him, like with insane, and I'm not just saying this because like, oh, old person watching kid, God, but like he legitimately has like insane computer skills. Like this kid can build a computer. He's probably going to grow up to be an engineer, the younger of the two. And just watching what they're able to do, and kind of like what you were just talking about, getting into, my oldest nephew could, and I'm not trying to like brag on him, but like he's in like medical programs and stuff. He plays baseball, and then he does gaming and stuff as well. Like that is like it's weird to see like that is now, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but like a realistic career for younger people is like, oh, you legitimately, if you're good enough, can be a content creator, a streamer, and a professional gamer on a platform like Twitch, or, depending. And one thing I am a little bit saddened that I didn't research more is, the specific games that, like that are on ESPN, that professional gamers are being shown like on network television. I think they do like Call of Duty, Fortnite. I'm sure there's some others that I'm missing that somebody's going to scream at me for, and that's honestly okay. I deserve it at that point. But it's weird watching that evolution and seeing that as like legitimate entertainment, legitimate sport, legitimate opportunities for younger people to have as like career options, like you were saying. So it's crazy to see, but it's cool too. Anything that gives people more opportunities, for themselves and to do something that they enjoy for a career, I think is fantastic.
Yeah. And I have some friends that Facebook has now kind of tried to make themselves a platform for gaming. And I don't know how long they've been doing it. I'm sure it's been around longer than I've been aware, but I've had people tell me you should start streaming on Facebook because all these reasons. I've never done it. I probably won't do it. I think it's easier for people to find me on Twitch, and I've already, I don't know, maybe I'm biased now that I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that there's at the very bottom, when I'm on the Facebook app, that's like specific to like streams and gaming, or I don't know if that's specific to me or if everyone has it, but I know that I accidentally clicked it the other day, and you can browse and, find people on there. And I think that was really telling. I'm thinking all these platforms are trying to take on, and I don't necessarily think they're trying to compete with Twitch. I don't know that Facebook can really compete with Twitch for that whole thing. And YouTube, that's been around forever, and people have always really used that for gaming content for as long as I can think of. But yeah, Facebook is trying to do it now too. And I get notifications when my friends go live and things like that. And I think we're probably going to see more of that too. But yeah, these kids out here that can do far more than I can do, very impressive. And I think that, for these younger generations, even more so than mine, I think it's just going to keep going, really.
No, sky's absolutely the limit, but it'll be cool to see where it goes. I still wish you continued success, continued growth, with your Twitch channel. Again, you can find her on Twitch, on Facebook, on Snapchat. Wow, I can speak. Snapchat, Instagram when it actually works, Twitter, everything is branded Lil Bratley. Ashley Carter, thank you so much for speaking with me. I know you got your stream in a few, so I really appreciate your time.
Of course, this has been really great, and it's really great talking to you. Over 6 years, it's been a while. This has been awesome. We'll have to do it again once I have like 200,000 followers. We'll catch up.
we'll have a 200,000 follower party for you or something. You're 200,000, and then I'll still probably be trying to get to like 200 at that point. But
you'll be far past me. You're doing big things. You're doing big things.
I do big things in the smallest ways possible. But
I agree.
Ashley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Outro time. I hope you guys really liked that episode. Like I said earlier, had tons of fun making it. Ashley is wonderful to talk to, tons of personality, and I feel like I have at least a better handle on Twitch streaming and kind of how gaming is going with that. Been a hectic week. I just like got back home. I was at a wedding in Virginia Beach, drove up this morning, and then just kind of like detoxed from the weekend and then prepared to do this interview. I know Ashley has a loaded schedule as well, so it was cool to be able to coordinate and get to do this interview. I'm going to adjust this camera because I feel like my hands are like floating. Brief edit, right? That's fantastic. Should just re-record. But the main reason I know a lot of you guys are starting to watch is the contest or the giveaway, I should say, that we introduced in last week's episode with Dice, which is also a tremendous episode. I definitely recommend going back and watching some of the other interviews. Just kind of like with this, like I didn't know a ton about gaming and I learned a lot more from Ashley. Definitely didn't know much about orchestral music, so I got that picked up on by Dice. And Tommy Siegel interview was wonderful. My Jewish banter with David Sporn, and then that first episode that we did with one of my longtime friends, Shimon Day. Like all of these, and I'm not just saying it because, it's my channel, but a lot of great content, a lot of great interviews, a lot of great stories, a lot about how people, get into creating and art and stuff to just maintain sanity, especially now in, times of COVID. But back to the giveaway, as I know a lot of people are trying to wonder and see what's going on with that. The crux of it is we're going to get the Facebook page to 100 likes, and the giveaway, the prize, this little baby Yoda, looks good for a Christmas present, Hanukkah present, Thanksgiving present. I don't know. We're gonna do the giveaway when we have 100 likes on the Facebook page, and you can actually earn more than one opportunity to be in that giveaway. A like on the Facebook page will give you an entry. A subscription to the YouTube channel will give you an entry. And I was trying to think about the logistics. So you can reply to any of my posts with this if you know how, or you could just post to the page with yourself making Chewbacca noise. And the reason for that being is if I can make an ass out of myself on a weekly basis, you can do it in one post. And that's a little bit of a demonstration because obviously I have no shame. That stands for Disney, don't sue me. For the love of God, don't sue me. I have no money. But hopefully this little guy ends up in your home. I will keep you updated in every episode with what that count is. And it's embarrassing right now, right? I have like 56 or 58 likes on Facebook. I'm a marginally entertaining guy, maybe more than marginally somewhere. Yell at me when I'm close. So hopefully we'll get the Facebook page 100 likes. And then we'll probably, do something else in another month or two. We'll figure out stuff that you guys like. Hopefully mostly just my content, but I know free stuff is cool too. With that, still have other great guests lined up, and hopefully you keep listening. Hopefully you keep watching. Mentioned before on the Facebook page that I can now be found on iTunes, which is good, and Google Play, and all sorts of different little things that you can hear me, see me, which I know is just super exciting to just have me around all the time in your ear. So until next week, hope you guys are all staying sane, doing well. Make sure that you like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, keep watching, and best is yet to come. I'll see you.